Aesthetic Views Podcast. Subscribe.
What's up, Aesthetic Views Magazine family? Welcome to the Aesthetic Views Magazine podcast, and I am your host, Rifuma Makured.
XA. Welcome to Aesthetic Views podcast. I'm Dwalo Tekul, obvious from Bulus.
What's up, fam? It's your boy Jay-Z, the nonchalant dreaded with the glasses and the shirt. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you guys for introducing yourself. And can you tell us a bit more about the Aesthetic Views Magazine, what we stand for, what we represent?
Okay, so do you want me to start from where it was established?
We can start from there.
How it came to life. So the Aesthetic Views magazine, I remember, it started on the 19th of October last year, 2024, right? Mm-hmm. I think it started midnight. Yeah, it was a midnight day. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's whereby we started by gathering the team, and then after that we implemented. Actually, it's a publication, Aesthetic. Okay. It's not a podcast, right? It's a publication whereby we discover the beauty, we transform with their talent, everything about aesthetics. As long as something is beauty, that's whereby the Rwanda Yeah, I can see that you are one of the aestheticians, right?
I still remember, right, the day he was starting to start this aesthetic views. Mm-hmm. I was going to church, right? Mm-hmm. I was like, it's just and I see this call TK. I'm like, what? At this hour, around my level and around there, right? Mm-hmm. I was like, maybe he wants me to submit an assignment or strike a new business idea. I don't know. Yeah. So when I hear it, it's like, my guy, how are you? I'm like, yo, I'm good, my guy. Can we talk? I'm like, it's fine, let's talk. It's like, my guy, I have this vision, right? I was like, what's this vision? What do you think about becoming inside of a magazine podcast? Like a magazine publication.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought maybe since we already had growth deep, we had media news, so I thought maybe that he's just kidding or something like that. But I was like, no, let me send you something again. I just drafted it up. Yo, this guy, I saw he made this magazine, like this sample, right, of this magazine. It was so interesting. I was like, no, I swear, he downloaded it from the internet. Then when I told him, I was like,
when I saw it, I was like, is this AI or?
Is this AI? So I was like, no, okay, check. I was like, what's this? Am I viewing? Like, what's this? And it's like, this is the draft of the magazine. This is what the magazine is gonna be about. Not gonna lie, then and there, I was convinced, right? So we had this particular meeting, right? Maybe after he said that, like he talked about we must go and make a meeting. I gathered the team and he told me that the team will consist of people from Univen and whatnot. I was like, hey, I must be serious. Yeah. It's fine. We went to the seminars. I think it was seminar room 1, right? Then we held a meeting where we gave each other structures, right? Well, in that meeting, I had this thought, man. I was like, sometimes in life, like you gotta look at a person, right? You gotta look at the kind of person you associate yourself with, right? Then I spoke to myself and I was like, this guy is really going far, right? This guy, I can see that he's going far. He has brilliant ideas, right? Then I was like, why not take a gamble? This will answer the question if you're gonna ask a question or why did you join Aesthetic Views magazine, right? Even people, they keep asking me, why did you join? I kept on telling them, like, this is a gamble. I gambled my future on him. I don't know if you take it. I gambled my future on him. I was like, this guy is really going far and I want to be part of his journey, right? And I can see, like, he's taking out the best in me as well. So like, I was like, you know what, Ned? Let me be something. I was like, let's submit roles. And I was like, you know what, Ned? Let me, in order to be close to him, I know I won't be the CEO. COO is it's a tough job, right? He said PR, and I was like, nah. I was like, can I be a journalist? I'm like, nah, that's normal. It's boring. It's everyone's boring. So I was like, what about the treasure?
So I don't rata chale.
No, it's not. It's not like that. Yeah. When you think about it, right? An organization cannot run without money.
Exactly.
So even if I'm not including the most of the productions, but the fact that I'm controlling the money of the company, I'm bound to be there. Wherever he goes, I'm bound to be there.
We must protect him.
When you look at it closely, when you look at it closely, I'm more or less like the underground CEO. Like if I can just hold like that, I'm taking the fund.
You won't do it.
But like you see. So this like why I joined I Study News Magazine and why like I Study News Magazine was like this thing, and I honestly I thought that maybe in the long run it wouldn't be that, I agree on here, so people have our own doubts, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes the production can be low, you feel low, people are not operating, maybe it's gonna die, but
I feel like from most people, when we started the Aesthetic Views magazine and we were advertising it, putting the word out there, most people were like, where is it gonna go? Are they even gonna publish? And I remember with our first publication, like the way it was so embarrassing, we had to do it like on social media platforms. Mara, we redeemed ourselves.
Yeah.
And I feel like seeing how far we've come and now having like 3.
Three.
Now, currently we have 3 editions out.
Yeah.
And just looking at from where we come from, Ubuti, we came from like structures from 5 people. Now we are more than 10.
We even have interns.
Bro. Like,
How many? The number?
I don't know.
we have 50 interns.
50?
Yes.
That's crazy.
We have 50, and we are teaching them different things about the aesthetics. Not only the aesthetics, but then the magazine, outside the magazine. And I feel like this will also have an impact in their CV. Imagine the CV intern in Aesthetic Views magazine, even if they don't know it, but the fact that you have some bit of experience, that's amazing.
But then it's global, man.
It's global.
We have got users from USA.
No, I've seen it. He showed me the proof.
Yeah.
It's like Aesthetic Views magazine was viewed in Australia. I was like,
Sweden.
no way.
Namibia.
Namibia. I was like, how come?
In our neighboring countries like Zimbabwe, like Botswana,
Yeah,
we also have views from
yeah.
there, even if they're not like more 10%, but then that little 1% it matters.
From
because
USA, it's 59.
it's 59.
Yeah.
That's big.
People.
Wow. Oh, people. Yeah. That's very big.
Imagine out of the whole USA, you only have 59. It doesn't seem much,
but it's something. And like, if you can look at it closely, right? I Study Views magazine, ever since the first publication, it had star power. I don't know if you get me right.
Yeah.
Look at the cover page. Who is that? Johnny Lawrence and Kapil. Who can wake up and say, I put Johnny Lawrence and Kapil on my magazine? No one. I'm telling you, no one will say. Like, we have so much star power. Like, I don't even know. It was too much. Even on the first publication, if you can view it clearly, we had the likes of that guy from Generations, right? Or was it the second publication?
No, it's the first.
It's the first.
Now guys, with everything that's been happening the past week, what would you say is the highlight of your week?
The highlight of my week. Now I would like to talk about the human rights. The human rights.
Which you celebrated yesterday on the first.
Human rights. And
what would you say is the highlight of your week?
I mean, since we're already on human rights, we might as well just dive into it. I mean, human rights has been such a decisive factor, like a shaping for South Africa. So many icons have been a part of South Africa that made human rights to be human rights, you see. For us, especially for us black people, right? So we have the likes of Steve Biko, right? Who else? Right?
Yeah.
Those are the legendary icons of South Africa. So when you're talking about human rights, we're talking about those people who actually fought for our freedom, who tried to be to shape, to be for us to be right here, right now. It's because of those people. So I do believe that this thing it really goes broad. It really goes broad. I don't wanna touch it into too deep. But if you can look at it closely, we're looking at the people who fought for the right to freedom. That's the first thing. That's the first right that we did, right to freedom, right? We were never free. We already know that we were oppressed back in the days, right? We were really it was really tough. It was really tough.
Yeah.
But
They didn't have it easy.
It wasn't exactly.
easy, yeah.
But the people, the likes of those I've mentioned, Steve Biko, Nkupotediro, and Chris Hani as well. Chris Hani is a legendary icon. It's a book where you see those people, they really fought for us. Note on how I did not mention Nelson Mandela.
At the back of my head is Nelson Mandela, and I'm just
I wanted to mention
Nelson
that.
Mandela. What's up with that?
Should I go? Okay. So many, we've seen so many theories.
Yes,
They're speculating that Nelson Mandela is not the Nelson Mandela that we know, right?
Oh yes.
So-
Was it one where they said he died in
He
prison
died
and
in
then
prison,
they took
exactly. The person that we know is who was his name again?
I forgot his name. It's still
Where you guys getting this information?
Hey, people talk about time. People talk. We do our research. People talk.
Yeah.
But it kind of like makes sense. Well, like the way they put it, it kind of makes sense. Plus, how? Just tell me how. As a liberator, right, fighting for your people, they take you to prison, right? 27 years. Then after that, you speak of freedom amongst us, like we're all equal. Whoa, let's talk about it. Let me take it to you, man.
Sure.
You're being oppressed. You know that you're being oppressed, right? Then after you're fighting for your freedom, no, I cannot be oppressed like this. And they're like, okay, since you're a tough guy now, let's take you to prison. Let's isolate you from the rest of your people, right? Then while in prison, you're telling me that if you serve 27 years, after that when you come out, you're gonna say, it's all fine, guys. Let's run out.
You did something,
I feel like it was a way of putting him as a front, because the moment that he, referring back to the movies that I've watched about his biography, his life and all of that, from my point of view, I feel like they put him as a front, like to say, you are going to be the people who, you are going to be the person who people think is the hero.
Is the hero, yeah.
Because like after that, he became the first black president in South Africa.
South Africa, true.
And it was like, okay, he's the one who was fighting for us. He's the one who went to prison for us. So we kind of embodied that mentality to say, no, you know what? Actually, Nelson Mandela is the hero.
Exactly.
Can I ask you a question? Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a hypothetical question. Okay, so do you think he fought for the freedom that we're saying we have?
No, he didn't.
Not entirely.
No, he didn't at all.
Mostly when we speak about freedom fighters, the number one person to come out of everyone's mouth is Nelson Mandela. And we forget the people who are also behind him. We forget about Chris Hani, like the people that you've mentioned.
Right there. Chris Hani. Why was he killed? Why was he killed? Exactly. If you can look at the movement that he was doing, it's too deep. If you can look at the movement that Chris Hani was making back in the days, you can see that even at some point, even when Nelson Mandela was out of prison again, people were pushing for Chris Hani to become what? The president. He was more or less like the Julius Malema of that time, if I can say, or Julius Malema is the Chris Hani of our time, if I can say. You see,
you can stop
but but like that, so like Chris Hani was a liberator. Like he was fighting for that movement. He was fighting for that peace. He was like, no. A black child and a white child cannot live together as one. It's impossible because what are their grandparents and their parents? The white child inherits that thing. He inherits that thing from their what? From their parents. So that's what Chris Hani was fighting for, saying, well, no, a black child should move on his own, a white child should move on. While as the so-called Nelson Mandela was like, no, it's nonsense.
And while we're still on the black child, white child, I feel like it takes me back to the Bantu education era, like where we had segregation. There's white schools, there's black schools. Even if you find out that I'm from a wealthy family, for example, and then I go to an all-white school, there's still that element of being segregated to say, I don't belong there.
Yeah.
So what's your take on that, coming to how we are living now?
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Why are there private schools?
Private schools were made for isolation.
Exactly.
That's my take.
Why are there private and public? Why can't you all just be one union thing?
And also there's Oranian, whereby white people are segregated, like we have been divided. I've been told that there is another country in South Africa.
The only country that we know is Lesotho.
With its currency. So these are the things. It takes me back to the question: as South Africans or as the citizens of South Africa, do we really have freedom?
I don't
The
think
freedom
we
that
do.
we are celebrating almost each and every year, do we really have that freedom? If yes, how?
How do you have freedom when white people are isolating themselves in a country of their own within another country?
Let's look back at when the white people, I don't know, that movement, what's that political party that contacted Donald Trump?
Is it DA? So
Yeah, it's FF plus. It's not FF plus.
Yeah, you can continue.
Yeah, but that part I don't know it, right? But they contacted Donald Trump saying that we need help. We are being massacred in our own country. We are being massacred. Land is being taken away from us, right? So Donald Trump even issued a statement saying, South Africa, what are you doing there? Remember, Donald Trump doesn't even know. Never even came here.
Yeah.
He was like, these people are too. What are you doing here? You know what? We're going to cut off all the money. We're going to cut off like our partnership, something like that. Yeah, our resources. Because those white people, they need their own freedom. So it makes us black people look bad, right?
Yeah,
but that's their plan. That was their plan all along, to make us look like we're this hungry evil things, like we're those hungry monkeys that they enter on your home like, hey, what I wanna eat? You see, that was their aim. And so now what did Donald Trump do, right? He saw that this is a losing case. He was like, you know what, man? All of you white people who are not satisfied, you can come to America. You are free to come to America. You can be foreigners in our country. We will more than welcome you. Why are they not leaving?
There won't be
because they know
foreigners.
it's not true.
I don't think there will be foreigners. Actually, it's more like they have two hopes. Do you understand? So it's more like, okay, I have Bakara's team, I will put it Bakara's team, because like my guy, it's not a good thing. Okay, they said they are taking the land from like white people. They said black people are taking the land from there. But then when we check, almost 75% above of the land
owned in South Africa
it's white people. Which land are they talking about? Which land are they talking about? Right?
I feel like even today we are still fighting bring back the land. We are, but they say that we are taking the land.
It's gonna be a struggle until we die. Like even our grand kids are going to still fight for the land, because the land is something whereby I can say there's no, I don't know, like they've already taken the land. We'll try by all means to mobilize, to strike, but there's nothing that we can do. Do you understand? Because I think there is someone, I don't know, but I think there is someone who is in between, and that someone who is in that between is favoring that side. Do you understand?
Interesting.
Yes, because
say something, but it's fine.
like you see, it's more like, okay, I know these people are fighting for the land, and these ones, they already have the land, but then now I know whose land is this. Do you understand? Who's going to win this thing? Do you understand? Yes. So even if like we tend to strike, we tend to say we bring back the land, it will 1%. Why are we not bringing that 50% of land? You see, you understand? Sometimes we are subjected to these things, or okay, they also portray I can say black people as poor people or as disadvantaged people. Why? It's because they've taken our resources. Only if like we had those resources, we are going to be projected as a better vision. You understand? So that's how it works. Racism is still in South, like it's still there. Everywhere.
Then you ask yourself, freedom, right?
Yes.
That's what we was on, right? That's what we were like. Freedom, we're still fighting for it till this day. We have analyzed that it's fine, right?
Yeah.
But now let's look at the thing that is taking us down, right? The media.
So do you guys think that the media plays a big role in the way we perceive or the way freedom impacts us as black people?
Yes.
Then I would say yes. Do you want to start or you can start?
You can start leadership.
Okay, so if you can check media, let me take you back to the historical background of media. Media was something whereby some sort of a platform that was introduced, especially in Africa or in South Africa. It's a way of doing what? Of colonizing people, right?
Okay.
So we can talk about radio, right? Radio as a form of spreading. You know how powerful the media is. Now we are exposed to the Western culture. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And when they expose these things, sometimes it might feel as if like, no, this is how we're supposed to do it. Hey, what. But at the end of the day, those people, they have their own mission. You understand? And the mission is to do what? Is to take over. It's for us to adapt in that Western culture. But then when we try to express our things, our indigenous things, they will tell you like it's something related to witchcraft, what. We are not supposed to do what? To express our culture, who we are, because when we try to do that, it's not acceptable. But them, they can do what? They can express that. But then, in a way, or in conclusion, I would say there's no freedom, because I'm not free from exploring or from showcasing my culture.
Yes.
Do you understand? Because it comes as in a form of an offense when we try to do that. And at the end of the day, they are owning the media. So there's the global media that we're talking about. These are the platforms where I can say they are owning. So even if like I can just try to showcase something, and then you will yeah, so that's how it can.
It's true. It's true, because even if you look at back in time, let me give an example about the Sarafina movie, right?
Yeah.
The one that was portraying the struggle that was happening during apartheid.
Yeah.
You can see that when they portrayed Nelson Mandela in prison, right, they were still sending letters to Nelson Mandela, but those letters, they did not get delivered the way they are.
Yeah.
What were they doing? They were censoring the information.
I saw in one where they cut like certain words, certain phrases, so that he cannot read.
So what did that do? It gave birth to this thing, or to this impact on media, that media, you like in South Africa, right, you should censor this thing, like you should censor you should censor in general.
Things that you can say,
things that you cannot say. And remember, the media, as TK said again, it came from what? From overseas, the Western culture. So it was owned by the white people. So the white people, when they saw us, the black people, when they saw, okay, we're making a movement, or we're starting to make an uprising, they will manipulate the messages that will send to other cultures. For example, maybe you yourself, maybe you want to portray a message to someone, maybe, I don't know, in nobody or something. For example, right? Yeah. Saying, okay, we're going to meet at this time and this time frame. Oh, no, not even that thing. Yeah. You're messaging a message, or a white person just killed my daughter. Please send help, or I'm coming there. What will they, if you take that message and go to a radio station that is owned by a white person, they will tell you,
this is not acceptable.
You know,
it's not applicable here.
Let us be specific, actually. So the media, we have the traditional media, we have the folk media. You know, our folk media is the one that I can say it was motivated or encouraged by those Greek philosophers. Because as Africans, we value oral storytelling. Do you understand? We value, like, where are those poems? Where are those moments whereby people used to gather, then they perform, people used to showcase their cultures. Let's say they just meet at Gate 2, right? Then they just dance, belani, showing our culture. Do you understand? It's the type of media. But then now let's check, where is that media? Do you know about it? No, because the only way that it can happen is for them to go there and Gate 2, and then when those people are dancing or doing their things, they come with what? With digital things or electronic things. That's whereby they've taken, or they are trying to show you, okay, we understand it might not reach global, but then they have taken that thing away from us. So like, even if like we start to mention the type of media, you won't even know, or you won't even mention about the folk media, because the folk media is the one that revealed the African person. Do you understand? The issue of theater, the issue of oral.
Coming to theater, and I remember when I was studying for acting, and we spoke about how theater like came to life, and it came to life through like the normal rituals that we do, like for example, wedding, that's a theater, that is a performance. Funerals, parties, that is form of theater, but then you'll never hear anywhere where they say that theater started in Africa. Because like he was saying, people gathering, telling stories and all of that, that is theater, because it's a performance that is like, you don't even know that you're performing. But you're performing. So it's a thing of, we had the narrative, but the narrative was stolen from us and it was changed, and now they say it's a Western thing, and it's no more an African thing. We no more have rights to what we have started. and we have normalized that. No, it comes from USA, it comes from America, and we have colonized ourselves in a way to say, you know what, we are not innovative, we are not creative enough to come up with these things.
Yeah, it's true. Because you know what, Nev? Let me tell you something. I think it was about a month or so. It's a month ago, right? I was interviewing this political person, right? I will not disclose the name. Right? I was interviewing this political person in the campus, right? So we were talking about the black movement or the black liberation movement, right? As we were talking about it, he stated something again, saying, why are we speaking English? Yes, as I was saying before the interruption, I was saying that I had an interview, I conducted an interview with a political person or a political member inside the campus, right? They were talking about why, like they asked me a question on why are we speaking English as black people, right? Yeah. Then they gave me an example saying, well, only in history we've seen that the British and the Americans, by the way, were still the British. America was colonized by British back in the time. So the British were the ones who came with what? With English, right? Then the Dutch, they're speaking Dutch and it's fine. So he said that the reason why we speak English is because these white people, they're trying to isolate us from ourselves. They want us to understand them, but they don't want to understand us. Then he gave an interesting take and said, if I was president, he said it according to him, right? He said that if I was president, I would encourage each and every South African, right, to learn each and every language of your fellow South African, but not you're not allowed not limited to only learning it, but let me put it well, articulatory system. You cannot as long as you understand your Tsonga, right?
Yes.
As long as I can understand Tsonga and respond to what you're saying, but using my own language, then it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
if you're Zulu and if I hear you speaking Zulu and I understand and I speak Spedi and you also hear me and we communicate like that, he said that that's how Africans were, or how we are supposed to be, how we are supposed to operate, right? That's how it is. But the English or the white people, they came in here and they were like, no. You are Zulu, go stand there alone. You are Pedi, go stand there alone. You are Tsonga, go stand there alone. So that's why we have conflict here. That's why the code that says divide and conquer, right? Yeah, they divided us into different provinces so they can be able to conquer us, because they know if we put Pedis alone, they will agree. Obviously, it's our culture. We'll be able to group ourselves. Yeah. So when as a Tsonga, when you come in, you're like, what is this person speaking? What sort of language is this?
That's all we are even fighting.
Exactly.
Yeah, someone say
tribalism. Tribalism. You see, that's the birth of tribalism. It's only the mind of a white to just divide us to fight amongst ourselves, right? So that's what he was looking. That's the aspect that he was looking, and I found it very interesting and intriguing. But as a journalist, you cannot take anything. You just like oh, okay. Yeah. But he was telling the truth. He was telling the truth that I think it will be really good if we as black people we just learn each other's languages and we're able to unite. Because you can see where there's no unity when you, for example, look at a child who's born from a Pedi and a Zulu household, how they behave. At some point, that child will even become confused about which culture they must take. Yeah. Because the two were not even united. Should I take the Zulu culture? Why are you switching? Why are you
taking the dominant one?
Taking the dominant one. Exactly.
There is this thing of I can say ethnocentrism, right? Okay. Whereby you see if the dominant culture here is Zulu, and then let's say you are Pedi, I'm Zulu. Then if Zulu is the dominant culture, obviously the child will take Zulu, because it's more like sometimes we are even undermining ourselves. So it's that thing more you even forget being born in another culture doesn't mean we don't relate. We relate, man. We are one thing. We are Africans. Do you understand? We have been born in different cultures. Do you understand? But then at the end of the day, the unity is what we want. That's why there is a black color in the national flag. It represents. There is no color of Zulu. There is no color of Pedi. It's one thing. Do you understand? But then if we are fighting, what's going to happen? Do you understand? What is going to happen? Just check let's say there is a family, they are fighting. They are always having this conflict. So then, do you think that family is going to grow and develop? No, we are fighting. fighting.
Fighting.
And it's going to impact what? The next generation.
Next generation.
And the more we fight,
and the
if
next.
someone comes, a stranger or an enemy comes to us and then, this is how you're supposed to do this and this and this and that. We are going to follow that because we think that's how it is. Us black people, we are fighting. Then someone is going to come and tell us, do this and do this. Everything will be resolved.
Exactly.
Then we are going to take each other's the enemy. That's how it works.
That's how it is.
But do you think that it can be fixed?
Beyond repair.
Do you know what is a black person? Let me start with this. Do you know what is a black person, man? A black person is the most stubbornest person you'll ever see in the world. A black person is stubborn. He refuses to change. That's a man of a black person.
It takes me back to one of the philosophers. I think it's from Nigeria. I just forgot his name. He said that if you want to convince a black person, or like this thing, the thing that I'm telling you, like it's true. Like a black person can even attack you if like you're telling him the truth.
Yeah, he can.
I'm telling you, they can even attack you because they do not know. And it's not something whereby we can blame ourselves. So like, no, we don't know. If someone tries to come, we are confused, actually. We are just confused because if someone comes and tells me, okay, this organization or the organization that you are working for, they are controlling you, man. As long as they give you money, that person can even do what? Can even stand for that organization. Say no, there's no such. There's what. It's because we have that thing. Or okay, as long as we are able to put something on the table, it's chai. Do you understand? And that thing is the one that is damaging us. As
Hunger.
you understand?
Hunger, right.
Because if a black person like now you are working, you are earning around 40,000.
Okay.
I'll convince that person or tell the person the truth about the organization. Let's say they had like those hidden agendas kind of things. They will not even bother to pay more attention to you because you are trying to destroy what brings the bread or food to the table. That's how it works. I don't think it can be fixed. But then little by little.
No, it won't be fixed. You're right. Because let's take a look at the government system now, how the government operates. Hey, how the government operates. Let me tell you something, Reformer. If you are hungry, right? And I come to you, right? And say that, you know what, if you dig a hole, maybe dig a 6-foot hole, I'll give you this meal, and you see this meal is it's whether it's hot or cold, you will dig, right? Then after you dig, after you're eating, when you become full, then you'll start to think to yourself, no man, I want to eat alone, but I cannot eat alone. Who are you going to think of? You're going to think of your family.
My brother. So come.
Then there is someone. Listen. Then there is someone who comes and like, man, I can see that you're digging. I can offer you help. I'm skilled in digging holes. Then you're gonna be like, man, I know you're skilled, but this is my brother, man. Even though the brother doesn't have any experience. So that's how the government works, right? They employ their family members or they employ each other. As long as you're related to me or you're my friend or my cousin, as long as I'm successful, you're not going to go hungry on my watch. So this arises the question that how will we change? It will never change because a black man is never satisfied. You are always hungry. A black man is
always hungry.
Exactly. You only think about yourself.
If you want to see like we are always hungry, let's say we're masculine in Colonialism. Rough. Check how they spend that money. That's where you will see. Or like we are. It's not something whereby we can.
I feel like we have been oppressed to poverty to the point where when you get a sum of money, the first thing you think about is spending. You wouldn't think about investing.
No.
You wouldn't think about how you can grow that money into something.
TKS and iPad. I must also get my own iPad.
Exactly.
You see, what must I think of investment for what?
And when that money is gone, now you think, I should have invested in this. I should have built this, I should have had this. And it's just so frustrating to see, like the show I Blew It. It's frustrating to see that someone got about 10 million rand. The first thing they did, some of them, maybe something good that they can do is like renovate their houses. Maybe that's okay. But then also spending to that point where you don't even know where is your money going.
Look at a white child. A white child.
Yeah.
When a white person has money, you won't even know he has money, but this person has money.
Yeah.
Even when they groom their children from the start, they teach them finances, or this is how you must operate. I once went with my father to a certain farm behind the line of Dendron. There's this Dendron road, right? We went to a farm, wanted to buy a cow, right? When we got there, we saw many black people, black workers. They were going to that farm, right? We passed them, it's fine. Then after that, we saw a white the white man was like, but the first thing that my father did was speak Afrikaans. That was the first thing my father did, was speak Afrikaans. It's fine. That one it's fine. They communicated, it's fine. Then after that, hey, look at this. I agree that the workers, they came, they must be transported to where the fields, where they must work again.
Yeah.
A child that is, even I'm sure I'm 10 years older than that child again, was riding a tractor. A tractor. That tractor had this I don't know how to put it in English. That thing that thing where you carry people inside. You see that thing where you carry people inside. A trailer. Thank you very much. A trailer. Those black people, they got inside that trailer, and the white child drove them to work.
You're saying a white child drove them to work, ne?
Drove them to work.
I think it takes us back to the educational system, right? Yeah, it takes us back to the educational system, because how come in high school, let's say high school, you are taught how to name an insect, ne? Or this is the head, this is the what, this is the what. While in Germany or in China, those people are taught how to run a mining system. Do you understand? We have got the minerals. We have like agriculture. This is the home of minerals. We are rich when it comes to minerals. Why are they not teaching us those practical subjects, starting from primary, man? Like how the mind operates. Like these are the things that they can teach us. Do you understand? Because okay, you are studying primary, you go, secondary, you go, high school, you go, you have a degree, apply your knowledge. There's nothing that you can apply. Do you understand? Because this was not a norm. But then to someone who's from China, again, they can, even if you give them this cell phone, you say, can you please fix this cell phone for me? They can do that because they've learned this, how to do this in grade 2 or in grade 6. Do you understand? So it's more like we are taught how to be perfect, well-disciplined employees, workers. That's how it works. Do you understand? So that's how it works. We have been trained, what? Ethics. Okay, how to be a good journalist. Not how to start something. Do you understand? So the entrepreneurship is something that can, like, it's rare for it to come. Do you understand? It's rare for you to be exposed in these workshops of entrepreneurship. Do you understand? Because these are the things you are taught how to calculate the money. That money is for who?
For the employer.
Do you understand? How to balance the sheet? Get your mom. Do you understand? In Singapore, they've realized this, right? They have these things of, they've noted that, okay, why are we supposed to let students to study plumbing in universities or college, while that skill can be taught to
at a very young age?
You teach someone how to do plumbing. You can see that you are staying in a household whereby the pipes are not good. Teach that person plumbing, right? When you teach, after they've cancelled those courses in those universities, right? I understand. And then they continued with this plumbing. They taught those people, and then now they are a developed country. South Africa will always remain a developing country until, you understand, because of how things are.
We are still a slave to apartheid, if you can look at it, because the apartheid name, it is the one that like taught, like give us the education system. We didn't have education. Maybe let's say we had education, but not the education that we have right now. The education system that we're still operating in right now is still the one that was established in apartheid. They just made a few minor tweaks here and here.
But it's suggested closing schools for 2 years.
That one is not me.
It's taking our right.
Right to education. But you see, even if you can, I'm sure you have examined on your part parents. Most of their parents, they still have the apartheid mentality. They're like this. You know, when a donkey is wearing those things, that it must all, in Spain they call them the hawk club. Those things, when a donkey must always go for it. Don't look at the side. They are not, they are like this. They are like this. When you try something new, you'll be like, hey, ma, hey, dad, I want to become a journalist, or I want to do media. They're like, why are you going to work with that thing? You're going to go hungry.
Yeah, where are you going to work?
So
so they believe in working under someone and not starting something
teacher,
for yourself.
policeman, doctor,
Nurse.
nurse. That's all. When you come to them and say, I want to become a photojournalist, they'll look at you.
They don't even know you.
They think that all you're doing is just taking pictures of anything, like
they'll tell
random.
you, where are you going to work? Who's going to employ you with that kind of skills? That's why you can see many people their age, when they are afraid to even say, I go to a certain college. Because they disregard the things that they teach. Up at college, if you can look at it, most colleges, they teach what? Practical. They teach practical part. So when a child, they say, I'm going to college, people are like, hey, go repeat matric, maybe it will be something better. You see, still a shadow of apartheid. One way, even my father told me that after you finish school during apartheid times, either you go to the military, you become a policeman, or you become a nurse. That's all. That's all. You're only limited to those things. You'll never see a black lawyer. Where? Who are you going to defend? The black people. You see? So we're still in that shackle. We're still in the chains of apartheid. You know what? Even I do believe that us as youth, we're turning a blind side to it. We're no longer taking that matter seriously. So we're just saying, you know what? It will fix itself. Well, it won't. It won't fix itself.
It needs us to stand.
It really needs us. If not us, then who? Because if we disregard it, our children are gonna see us. Then they say, our parents are disregarding it. It means it's not important. Then the other, you see, it's a generation of blind people now. You see, the blind leading the blind. So then it takes one woke person, a person who wakes up and say, no, let's go, let's liberate this thing. Then they say, this one is crazy. He wants to take our money, he wants to do what. You see, a person, TK, right now, maybe I wake up, right? I see this economy is really messed up. I'm like, okay, let me buy 2 packets of Zimba chips, go to Gate 1 and sell them. And like, hey guys, can you please buy my Zimbas for 5 rand each? They'll look at me like you're crazy, man. How can we buy 5 rand? It's too expensive. I would rather go to Maula and buy them for 150.
That's how it works.
Even though they are from 2015, but they're still 150.
Yeah.
You see, still shackles of apartheid. You can't support each other when they've manipulated us. So like,
we're not even owning our economy. That's peach.
But this is a very interesting topic.
It is.
But unfortunately, it's a tiny fetchy. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much I feel like this is a very mind-opening topic. If you sit down and look at it, and if you sit down and think about it as much, you will see that there's still a lot of change that needs to take place. And there's still a lot of shifts that need to happen so that we can go back to being in charge of ourselves, in charge of our country. As much as we are diverse, we also have to be in charge of our own things. But then with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning into the Aesthetic Views magazine. Catch us same time, same place next week, or we don't know, just keep on the lookout for us. And just be sure. Oh, and another thing, the Aesthetic Views magazine is launching their 4th edition on the 31st of March. Be on the lookout for that. Just next week, it's kind of a corner for you to go on our social media platform, to go on our website and just search Aesthetic Views magazine, and you can read all about us. You can read our amazing articles that were written by our very talented and our very innovative journalists. But from you, from Makubele, this is all. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and don't be afraid to engage us. And see us more camera, just say hello.
Yeah, I like your boy. Hey, I'm friendly though. I like your boy Jay-Z, and maybe I don't know, it might take you somewhere. I don't know, but I like your boy.
Okay, le duele kamuka ya Aesthetic Views magazine. Ke bezala ka ke lozwi kezo.